It's time to make some money once again at the Apex. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of my best bets. I got a money line bet for you, a round prop bet, and a big juicy prop bet. In addition, I'm going to show you every single one of my DFS plays, which if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know you always want to tail those. And if you tailed last week, we cashed in nicely. Lastly, I'll let you know where you can get all my bets for this Saturday's card completely free. We also got Contender Series coming up next week, and if you sign up, you're going to be able to get those Contender Series bets next Tuesday. Before we do that, we have to go and recap how last week's Best Bet show went. Andre Pulayev on the money line cashed. We also had him round 2 or 3 KO in the premium channel, and we cashed that as well at plus 475, so that was a nice hit. We also hit the under 2.5 rounds at minus 120. It ballooned up to minus 160, minus 170, but if you watched the video, I'm sure you were able to get in on that because after I recorded it, I pretty much put it out right after I recorded it. So if you caught it early, you got it at minus 120, but it did balloon. Either way, it cashed. It's cash. That's all it needs to happen. Under 2.5, it was easy. Bashi got it done in round 1. And the Kevin Vallejo's KO could not come through for us. So we couldn't sweep the board, but we did go 2-1 on the 3 bets. So we did profit 0.83 units last week on the best bets that I gave you, the 3 best bets that I gave you. And if you tailed the DFS, you cashed in nicely. We profited 2 units on the 2 pick entries. We were 6-2 on the picks overall, but the big boy was the Underdog 20x payout. If you tailed that, even if you had to play the bumps, you probably cashed because it wasn't much of a sweat. Pierre Rodriguez soared over, Nakamura soared under, Zaleski soared under, Karol Rosa soared under, and Esteban Ribovics soared over as well. So it was pretty much a no sweat 20x payout on the Underdog 5-pick entry to win 20x. The better picks was very close as well. As I said, I went 6-2, so we were off by 2 there. Hopefully we can hit that 100x this week. Let's get into the bets. The moneyline bet this week is going to be none other than Neil Magny's sister. It's Unk season. It's Auntie season. All right, Angela Hill comes in here as a plus 178 dog, and I just have to get a little bit of it, all right, because I don't think Yasmin Lucindo is really all that. I really don't think she's that great of a striker outside of pure physicality and pure power. She doesn't have much process to her striking. Her takedowns are all body lock trip takedowns. She can't really wrestle. She is good on top, but I don't really think she's going to be able to just hold Angela Hill on top for long periods of the fight. Angela Hill has seen every single style in her career. She's very veteran savvy, and I expect her to use that veteran savvy to find a way to win here. Other than that skill set, she might be slowing down at 40 years of age or 41, whatever it is, but I don't really think I've seen it to a point where she can't compete with these girls. You know, she's coming off a win. I believe she's, 4-2 in her last 6 or something like that. Maybe it's more than that. But her only losses are Tabitha Ricci, very close fight, and Ricci just freaking knocked out Amanda Ribas, and Mackenzie Dern. And Mackenzie Dern also just got a submission win over Amanda Ribas, so maybe Amanda Ribas is the one that's being cooked here. But I think Angela Hill comes in here and is able to win the striking exchanges. I could even see her getting on top of Yasmin Lucindo, you know, reversing those takedowns or making her pay in the clinch and maybe sweeping her a little bit there. So I think Angela Hill plus 178 is just too much. So I'm putting a unit on Auntie Angela Hill to get it done. Neil Magny gets it done for us last week. Angie Hill gets it done for us this week. There's your moneyline bet for the week. And from there, we'll go into the Underdog fantasy plays. If you're in one of these highlighted states on the map right here, you're going to want to download the app if you haven't already. We just crossed the 100-unit mark in net profit since 2024 on 2 pick entries alone, so not even including the 20x payout that we hit last week. Here it is. And then we hit another one earlier this year at UFC 314. We've hit 3 5-pick entries so far in 2025. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 5. Let's make it 6. Let's go on a hot run. Let's take a look at the plays. Before we do that, if you're watching on a TV or a monitor, you can pull out your phone, scan the QR code there, and download the Underdog app. Otherwise, you can go down to the link in the description and download it if you haven't already, and put these plays in. Here's the 5-pick entry. We're going Yulia Stoliarenko lower. She is not a striker. Not a striker whatsoever. Not much to offer. She just went to almost a 15-minute decision with Luana Carolina, and I think she landed like 16 significant strikes. She does not want to strike with Gabriela Fernandez. There's a very high upside for an early finish in this one as well. So I like the lower there for Stoliarenko. Lower than 52.5 for Eric Anders. Christian Leroy Duncan does not get hit with many significant strikes. The only guy that has been able to go higher than this number was Armin Petrosian, and Petrosian is a very, very high volume striker. Eric Anders, not the case. He's a guy that wants to grab a hold of you, get you down to the ground, and I think he's going to struggle to do so against CLD, who's very good with his footwork. So we're taking lower there for Eric Anders. Gene Matsumoto, lower than 70.5. Now this one could get a little bit dicey because Gene Matsumoto, fairly high volume guy, but he's going up against Miles Johns. Miles Johns does not get hit with significant strikes. He just does not. He has never, or his opponents have never gone higher than 70.5 in his entire UFC career. I don't think they've gotten more than 55. I think the highest significant strike total that somebody has gotten on Miles Johns in his UFC career was last fight against Felipe Lima, and it was 55. So I'm banking on Miles Johns to do what he does, not get into striking exchanges, not get into high-volume striking affairs, and G. Matsumoto is at 70.5 is a pretty high number, so I like the lower there. Steve Erceg, lower than 49.5. Ode Osborne's the same way. Doesn't get hit with a lot of significant strikes. He's got a huge reach. He's very explosive, and guys don't really want to throw a lot of volume out there because he's good at countering. So I don't think Steve Erceg is going to come in here looking to strike for 15 minutes. I don't think that it goes 15 minutes. I think Steve Erceg probably wants to take this fight to the ground. But if he does strike with Ode Osborne, he's probably going to get hit with something big. Or he could even hit Ode Osborne with something big as well. So I think the upside for the early finish is there. I don't think he gets 50 to that. I don't think he gets 50, man. I really don't see a way that Steve Erceg just goes in there and like pitter-patters his way to a decision. Doesn't make sense to me. So this line at 49.5 screams lower. So I'm taking it there. And Roman Dolidze lower than 39.5. Anthony Hernandez's opponents have gone under this number in every single fight leading up to the Jung Young Park fight. Okay, Jung Young Park, I believe, got like 80-something, but Jung Young Park is super high volume, and that was years ago. Roman Dolidze is not a high-volume striker. He's not. And Anthony Hernandez, what does he do? Wants to take you to the ground. I think we're going to see a lot of grappling here, so I don't really see a lot of extended periods of time where they're just, trading shots on the feet. So I like the lower for Roman Dolidze, even though it is 5 rounds. I don't care because we also have upside for an early finish. And if you look at Anthony Hernandez's 5-round fight against Michel Pereira, Pereira only landed 24 significant strikes. So I like the lower there for Roman Dolidze. 5 picks correct. All lowers. We got an all lower slate this weekend. And the last time we had an all lower slate was UFC 314. When we swept the board, we cashed the 100X. We cashed the 20X. So I think it could be a good week. Lower, all lowers, 5 picks correct, wins 20X. And the two-legger on entry, or two-leg entry on Underdog is going to be Steve Erceg lower than 49.5 and Roman Dolidze lower than 39.5. 2 picks correct, wins 3X. Make sure you're playing the 2-pick entries. That's how we steadily profit over the year. And these 20X and 100X payouts are the bonus on top of it. Once again, if you're in one of these highlighted states, download the Underdog app. Use code HeyJive, get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. There's a link down in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right there. And if you're looking to get in on the app and you want to add a little benefit to your deposits, you can sign up or apply for the GBank credit card. You get 1% cash back rewards on gaming and sports apps, and some of the DFS apps, you get 2% cash back as well. Also, obviously, you got to apply for it. You got to get approved for it. So obviously, if you're not very good with credit cards, or if you don't have a good credit score, you're not even going to get approved. So you got to have a good credit score to get approved. It's something that I use on a weekly basis, going in and out between apps. You got to use a lot of apps, and a lot of times you want to move money from one app to the other, and this is an easy way to do it. So link down in the description below to hop on the GBank card or apply for the GBank card, and if you get approved, you can get a credit line, and then you can start depositing on there. You get 1% cash back. Super easy deposits anytime you need it. You don't have to jump through hoops with all these banks that are denying your card, or a lot of banks don't even let you use your card to deposit into a gaming app. This one obviously does. It's built for it. It's backed by Visa. Link down in the description below to get your application in. The round prop bet this week is going to be the fight to not go the distance in the Steve Erceg Ode Osborne fight. Ode Osborne is a kill or be killed type of fighter. Steve Erceg is dangerous on the feet. He is dangerous on the ground. O'Day, very dangerous on the feet. Not so dangerous on the ground. But O'Day can also be cracked and knocked out on the feet. Can be easily submitted on the ground as well. I think that's probably what happens is Steve Erceg does look to take the fight to the ground and probably submits him. But we're getting minus 170 on this fight to not go the distance. It makes a lot of sense to me. I'm putting 2 units on it. Steve Erceg is coming in here needing a win in dramatic fashion as well. He needs to get back on track. And I think the easiest way to do that is get O'Day to the ground and find that submission victory. But O'Day, very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I don't think O'Day, I think he's only been to 1 or 2 decisions in his entire UFC career. And those were against Charles Johnson and CJ Vergara. And they were, I don't want to say boring fights, but they were a little bit lower pace. So we'll see how this one plays out. But I like the minus 170 here on the fight to not go the distance. It makes a lot of sense to me. I just don't see how it goes 15 minutes with either of these guys in the cage. 2 units on that. There's your round prop bet for the week. If you want all the bets this week, jump in the Homify Picks premium membership, as you can see on the screen there. That's where you're going to get all the bets. Use code 109 and you get a 7-day free trial. We're positive 44.17 units in 2025 so far. We got Contender Series coming up. We got UFC 319 coming up. So if you sign up today, you're going to get the bets for this Saturday. You're going to get Tuesday's Contender Series bets as well. And then if you want to reload, you're going to get the UFC 319 bets, the full slate. But also, obviously, you get the early bets as well. You get the DFS plays for 319 and all that. So you're going to get a ton of value if you're joining up today. Use code 109 for the 7-day free trial. There's a link down in the description below to do so. And hopefully we cash in. I believe we will. Feel pretty good about this card and the upcoming cards. Been locked in on the Contender Series for like a week. Did a ton of tape study. I'm ready for it. Ready to pounce. So I'm looking forward to it. Prop bet this week is going to be CLD. Round 1 or 2 KO at plus 250. You know, Eric Anders only been knocked out once in his entire career, but it's the last fight on his contract. I believe he's probably going to retire after this fight. And you look back in his recent fighting history, he's been dropped in all 3 of his last 3 fights. Got dropped by Marc-Andre Barriault, round 1. Got dropped by Jamie Pickett, round 1. Got dropped by Chris Weidman, round 1. So, I mean, I was going to go 2-3 for CLD, but I do think, you know, most KOs do come within the first or the second round. So I like the plus 250 there for CLD. I think you could definitely hurt him early. And honestly, you look at Eric Anders' fighting career, he hasn't really faced that many dangerous strikers. You know, Chris Weidman at 40-some years of age is not that dangerous. Jamie Pickett, never been dangerous. Marc-Andre Barriault, not super dangerous either. And those guys all dropped him. So I think we're getting a buy low spot here on CLD to get a finish because he's coming off a decision victory over Andre Pulaev, where a lot of people probably had him getting a finish there against Pulaev. He was a big favorite in that one too. Now they're looking at this and they're like, well, CLD can't finish anything. And Eric Anders has only been knocked out once. Well, you dive a little bit deeper into it, and I think we get some value here at plus 250 on CLD to get a KO in round 1 or 2. I'm putting a half unit on it. There's your prop bet for the week. Nice and juicy plus 250 prop bet. We'll go to the Betr Picks plays. If you're in one of these purple states, you're going to want to download Betr Picks if you haven't already. Use code HeyJive. Play $10. Get $30 instantly. There's a link down in the description below. We hit this 100x payout on UFC 314. And as I said earlier, we're positive 100.78 units in 2-pick entries alone since 2024. And I got 3 2-pick entries for you on Betr Picks this week, in addition to the 8-pick entry. Let's take a look at the 8-pick. Hopefully you can see it. Hopefully it's not too small. But either way, Toshiomi Kazama, lower than 15.5 significant strikes. It's a low number, but I think it absolutely smacks because I don't think Toshiomi Kazama wants to strike with this guy. In all reality, he probably sprints across the cage and looks to grapple right away. And whether he gets it or not we can't really determine that. You know, I think he could maybe get it, but I doubt it. And if he doesn't get it, he's going to get knocked out. You know, Elijah Smith is a very powerful, explosive fighter. And Toshiomi Kazama blocks punches with his face. Or I don't even know if he blocks them. I just don't think he sees them coming. So, you know, Kazama's never gone over this in his UFC career. Got knocked out by Rinya Nakamura early in round 1. Got knocked out by Garrett Armfield in round 1. Landed 15 significant strikes. He basically got knocked out by Charles Olympus in round 2. but also I think he landed like 3 significant strikes in that fight. So he's just not a striker, man. So I'm taking the lower, the 15.5 there. Stanko, lower as well. Matsumoto, lower. Anders, lower. Dolidze, lower. Urseg, they didn't have the significant strikes on there when I put this in. So I just took his lower on fight time. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us, but you got to play what's available to you. So, I mean, we had to take a little bit of a different thing there for the 8-pick entry, but maybe one of them hits, one of them doesn't. Hopefully both of them hit. Lucindo, lower than 55.5. I'm taking this because she's just not a high-volume striker. She does not throw many significant strikes out there, and the only way I really see her going higher here is if they get into some type of firefight, which could happen, but I got to trust, based on the numbers, that Lucindo is going to continue to do what she has done throughout her UFC career, be low volume, look for takedowns, look for grappling. So I like the lower there for 55.5 on Lucindo. I mean, she's gone under this in every single fight except for her debut against Jauregui, who's very hittable, and Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who's also very hittable. So I like that lower. And then we're taking lower on Andre Fili. I forget the number when you go back and look how many times he's done this in his last however many fights, but I think he's only gone higher in like 3 of his last 12. So he's gone lower in 9 of his last 12. So we have upside for early finish here. C-Rod does tend to grapple a lot. Andre Fili lands, I think, 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. So I think there could be a good amount of grappling here with Andre Fili. I also believe that, C-Rod is a guy that is probably going to have to close that range. And once he gets into that range, it's probably going to be in the clinch a lot, if not on the ground. And Fili's just not a super high volume guy. I think he lands like 3.8 significant strikes. So it's not a super high number. If we get one round of grappling here, I think we could easily go lower if it goes to decision, but also we have the upside for the early finish. So the 2-pick entry, or that's the 8-pick entry to win 100x. The 2-pick entry here is Matsumoto and Anders, both lower. We played it on better picks because we got better lines there on that. We got Fili and Lucindo lower, played it on better picks as well, better lines. And Stoliarenko and Kazama both lower. I like to pair these lower numbers together just because if one goes wrong, the other one might go wrong too. But, I like both numbers, but they're just lower numbers, so I played them together. They're earlier on in the card as well. So there's your 2-pick entry to win 3x. 3 of them right there. So we got 4 locked in addition to the long shots. If you're in one of these purple states, download Better Picks. Use code HeyJive. Lock in these plays. Play $10. Get $30 instantly, and we'll cash in. Last week, the giveaway winner was 58 Nate 89. 7 inches is indeed a lot. So 58 Nate 89. Please send me an email at heyjivepicks@gmail.com. And I'll get your address, the size you want, and I'll send you a Professor Parlay t-shirt. I'm going to send out the ones from the past 2 weeks, the giveaway winners today. So if you're watching this and you wanted to give away a week or 2 ago, I'm sending it out today. But this last week's giveaway winner was 58 Nate 89. So 7 inches is indeed a lot. Send me an email, heyjivepicks@gmail.com, or you can try to DM me on Instagram at heyjivepicks or at Home of Picks, and we'll figure it out. But if you want to win this week, just comment on this video to enter to win a Professor Parlay t-shirt. I appreciate y'all for watching. Like the video for me before you leave. Subscribe to the channel before you leave if you're not already. And please, give us some good vibes so we can cash in. Cycle Parlay is coming. I'm working on it. I'll give you a cycle parlay because we cashed in last week as well. So appreciate y'all. Till next time, HeyJive Picks.